Hi, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today, I'm going to go over the September Spellbinders Club items. If you do not want to hear me chat about them, skip to this time stamp on the screen and you can just watch the making. But if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions and a in-depth look at all the things, stay tuned. Let's jump in right away with the 2 embossing folders for this month. They are super cute. This one is called Autumn Breeze, and it's the regular embossing folder of the month. It has beautiful leaves and little berries and little dots that are angled, so they're going to give you a nice texture for your background. Spoiler, this month is going to be so good for backgrounds, so just stay tuned for that. It's so awesome. Okay, moving right along to the 3D embossing folder. This one is called Patchwork, and it has fantastic textures of little hatching and little buffalo plaid and gingham style patch areas, and they are super cool. Lots of texture. Just wait till you see this embossed with paper. It's just really good. So gorgeous. Alrighty, moving right along to the Glimmer. If you did not know, if you get the Glimmer Club, you do get a roll of Glimmer foil. This month, from my spreadsheet, it's telling me that we're going to all get copper. But if you get something else, I'm sorry, that's just kind of how it goes. But this is 15 feet of foil. Just unreal. So you can make tons and tons of these backgrounds. So here is the little example. I'm actually going to put the pretty picture from Spellbinders on the left here, and I'll show you mine here. But this is so perfect for backgrounds. I really like this because, first of all, it has a very natural look, and that is very in right now in fabric art, is very natural fibers. So we're talking like linen, and that natural look is so in right now. And of course, Spellbinders is always on top of the trends, and they have this, and it's called Gilded Weave. Then there's 2 sentiments that go with this. They have, let's see, I guess I should just read them. Boo to you, sweet soul, stay cozy and spooky. Now, I was kind of thinking this would be perfect for some Halloween cards and do like a mummy texture, like the wrapping on a mummy. I just had that thought. I think it's super fun. I love their example. I think that's just so adorable. And we're going to talk about where all those cutie pie dies are coming from momentarily. All right. Moving right along to the stitching of the month. This is so cool. It gives you a top-down look at some pumpkins. So this is called Stitched Pumpkin Top. So there's 3 different sizes of the pumpkins, and then you get these little vines to add on. Acorns, little tops for the pumpkins as well. Extra cute leaves. Look at those. So cute. And then there's also a fun sentiment. And if you know me, you know I love a fun sentiment. We have Hello Gorgeous, spelled gorgeous. Love when there is a pun, and I love when things are spelled differently. That just kind of tickles my brain a little bit. Anyway, if you are not a pumpkin person, you could certainly turn these into flowers, and I think that would be really cool as well. But it's up to you. Now, I asked on my last month club video, do you want the stitching tutorials in the club videos? A few people said they're kind of good either way. They're kind of self-explanatory, but I did have a few people say yes, they do like it. So I will be showing a little mini tutorial on how to stitch these later in this video. Moving right along to the stencil. Now, the stencil club most of the time has 5 layers. So sometimes it will be 3 in one design, 2 in another. This time it is a detailed 1 stencil. So there's 5 different layers, and it's so pretty. This stencil is called Acorns and Oaks. So you're going to get those oak leaves and then the little cute acorns, and you get this really beautiful background for your pretty cards. I just love this one, and I think it would be super fun to play around with the colors and maybe do one that's not very traditional for autumn colors. I don't know. We'll see what I end up getting to when I start to craft, but I really do like this one, and I think that this is just, it needs a squirrel on it, right? So there's a squirrel coming up in here, so I'm probably going to add a squirrel to this one, or maybe a cute owl. Okay. Feeling silly today. Moving right along to the BetterPress. If you know me, you know I love BetterPress. I am a BetterPress babe, and you can be a BetterPress babe too. I will have information on that later in this video. This is called Stitchy Hexy. And like I said before, Spellbinders is right there on top of the trends. Hexagons are very, very in. And in the fabric world, there is this thing called English paper piecing, which has been around for a long time, but it's made a resurgence in the crafty world. And this is so perfect to give to someone who likes stitching or even just likes hexagons or something beautiful. But you can die cut out these little hexagons, and I am so excited to use this plate. Not only is there this great background, there's also some sentiments. We have, this is me thanking you. I love like the sassiness of that. Like, this is me thanking you. Sending autumn cheer is the other one. If you did not know, you can press these. So you're going to basically treat it like a stamp, but it presses into the paper and gives a very cool texture. Or you can glimmer hot foil them and it gives a gorgeous shine. So options for this, and I love the way that these they foil so beautifully. Moving right along. Now this is kind of a ton of stuff in this pouch because I kind of combined a couple things together here. So the stamp and die is called Autumn Within, and I will pop a picture on the screen of all the sentiments and such from the stamp set. But one thing I want to highlight, actually two things I want to highlight. First of all, the sentiments have these bubble cut dies, which is my favorite for sentiments. Is if you're going to have a stamp sentiment, in my opinion, you need a bubble sentiment to cut it out because it looks so clean and neat when you are finished. Now, all of those cute little things that are fall things have dies, so you can go ahead and die cut those out with these dies as well. If you're not a die person and you love stamping, you can just get the stamp, or you can get the stamp and die. Just depends on what you prefer. Now, if you're going to get the caboodle, which is getting all of the clubs, Spellbinders gives you a free item that comes with your clubs. And now this usually will coordinate with some of the products, and this time it is going to coordinate with the stamp. So you can see a great picture of what it will look like when it is done being stenciled, but it is a 2-piece stencil and there are 4 steps. So if you look carefully, they are numbered. There's number 1. You can see it there. So what you will do is you will stencil 1, move it up, stencil 2, grab the next stencil, then up here it says 3, right there, 3, down here it says 4, boom, and then you will have your stamp all stenciled out, and you don't even have to color it if you're not interested in coloring. So that's kind of a fun way to make that design. I will probably be demoing that in this video a little bit later on, but it's always fun to get free items, so I just thought I would mention that. Oh my, we have some cute things coming up, so just prepare your crafty heart. Okay, this is the large die. Come on, he's stuck in my pouch. So this is all sorts of cute. My goodness. This is called Acorn Acres because it makes a cute little acorn house with a detailed top. There's tons of fun leaves to decorate it, and most importantly, look at this guy. Look at him. He's so cute. Oh, I love squirrels. If you did not know that about me, I love squirrels. He's actually going to face this way, which is perfect. I'll talk about that when I use the squirrel, but he is just so cute. Oh my. And then this one comes with 3 sentiments. We have happy fall from all of us or happy Thanksgiving. You could also use these individually. You don't need to use the happy and you don't need to use these. You could just use the happy. So lots of options there. It's just very, very adorable and you can make a cute little house. Moving right along, the cuteness is not stopping. No, no, no. This is so adorable. It is the small die of the month, Harvest Magic. First of all, this cat is perfect for adding to my craft room. I have a ton of people in my life who love cats, and this cat is perfect because it is generic enough where I could put this on any card, and it does not have to be fall or Halloween. But it also coordinates with these Halloween and fall items, so I'm going to make a very cute card with it. I think that I probably will be taking this little cat out of this set when I am finished with this club video, and this little cat is going to live on my desk. I have a magnet from Spellbinders. I'll show you. This magnet started off as dies that were lost, but I keep these 2 from BB Cameron on here the most because I use them for stamp sentiments that don't have dies. And then I also really like this oval, but I do have some random things on here that I need to put away or I have misplaced or they've fallen on the floor and I found them when I was vacuuming. So I think this little cat is going to live on here when I'm done so I can grab it easy peasy and I don't have to dig through anything. You know, I think I know where this goes now. This is the dust bunny from Trinity. Ugh. See, we're cleaning, we're learning. Okay, I now know that that is there. Alrighty, moving on. What can this make? It makes a cute pumpkin that is so cheerful and happy with the cat popping out from inside it. And then you can put the little pumpkin top on the cat's head. Unbelievable. It's just so adorable. Then you can have these little ghosts or a little skull. If Halloween is not your thing and you're more into autumn, you don't have to use anything scary. I do have a few people say that to me sometimes, that Halloween is not their thing, but that is totally fine. You can still get cute autumn cards with a lot of these items. Last but not least is the Wax Seal Club. Now, when you get yours, you're going to receive it with a beautiful wooden handle. And this is a brass tip. These are so high quality and made so well. I've never had any issues with that, so I am very pleased at that. But look how cool this owl is. This owl is going to be, the owl part will be popped up, and then the background part of the owl, oh boy, the background part of the owl will be pressed down. So it's kind of an opposite little relief there. And this is called Twilight Hoot. Oh my goodness, isn't that a fun name? And with the Wax Seal Club, usually you will get something with it. So it might be the little sticker backs to put on the back of the wax seals. It might be silicone spoons. This month it is a mix of the basic colors. This is the must-have wax bead mix, and you get 100 beads in here. There's gold, silver, white, and black. That is what my spreadsheet is telling me. It's kind of like the glimmer roll. Sometimes things can switch up depending on how things go, but most of the time it's what is on my little spreadsheet that I get from Spellbinders, and usually whatever they send me is what they send you, but it can change, so just keep that in mind. But I love that they give you these extra things. So if you are new to wax sealing, all you need is the little oven and the spoon, which is pretty affordable. I will link the little oven and such down below, and you can get to wax sealing right away. It is so fun. I have lots of tutorials on my channel about wax sealing. I probably will not be including that in this video today, but definitely check out the playlist on my channel that is called Wax Sealing, and I will have that linked for you as well. So if you're curious, always feel free to ask questions. I do not mind if you ask questions in the comments of my videos or if you message me on Facebook or pop over to my group, Stationery Maker Group on Facebook, I do not mind. I love talking with fellow crafters. So even if you might think, oh, it's a stupid question. No, it's not. I promise you it's not. Everyone starts somewhere, and if one of the new techniques you've never tried before, I want to be able to help you. So definitely don't worry about bothering me. I love talking with you. So no problem. With that being said, let's jump into the crafting. Here we go. I had to start with the stamp because it just looked so interesting and different. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Misty with some Copic color friendly paper. Even though I'm not using Copic markers, I ended up using a Copic friendly paper, which was from Pajama Crafter Stamps, and it's called Marshmallow. So if you're interested in grabbing that paper, you certainly can. I will link the paper down below. And then I'm also going to use Memento ink because, again, I thought, maybe I'll Copic color, but I'm going to end up using the stencil. But this is a very good black ink, so why not use it? All right. I, for whatever reason, did not use my stamp impression tool, so I have my little cleaning cloth from my craft room, and I did go ahead and stamp that out 2 times because why not? The stamp is already in the Misty and it has ink on it, so let's just do 2. Why not, right? And I'm glad I did because I end up making a little mistake. I mean, I don't know if I'd really call it a mistake, but I did have a little issue. There's the stamp position tool. Anyway, I did have a little issue with my ink coming up here, so I'm glad that I did 2 of them. All right, let's get nice and close for the stenciling of this image. I have my Distress ink cubes on the side here, and I'm going to use layer number 1 to begin with. I have the little candle flame and the pumpkin and a mushroom, a pine cone, an acorn, and a rainbow. So I figured I think that rusty hinge would look good with this. So I have my little blending buddy from Trinity Stamps. Love that. And you'll notice I'm trying to get a little bit of a shade on these stenciled items. And I'm going to bring in a tool later in this video that really does help with shading and with blending. But you can see this is doing a great job as it is. So I will remove that layer and then move the stencil up 1 area. And this will be the center for my sunflower, a little shading on my pine cone and leaf. I thought for whatever reason it was backwards. It is not. Just a side note about this stencil, it is made to be artful. And by that I mean it's not going to be perfectly lining up with everything. If you look at their example on the website, it does have things going out of the lines, and it looks like that was intentional. So you can see this little leaf down here. It's not lining up perfectly, and that's okay. All right, you see the little brush I got there? That's the blending and the shading sidekick from Trinity Stamps, and I do love practicing with these. They're a new tool to my stash, so I definitely took advantage of the opportunity to give these more of a tryout and use them later for the stencil club. And spoiler, I really like them. So then I'm going to go in with the next color that is Scattered Straw, I think. I don't know why, I cannot remember. Oh, hello, it's right on the lid. Scattered Straw. And we had Gathered Twigs and Speckled Egg is that little teal robin egg color blue. Just so gorgeous. So I'm going to finish off this little area with that Speckled Egg. It's such a pretty blue. It really is kind of like a tealy blue-gray color. It's a very agreeable blue, if I do say so. And this one was so juicy. And I really packed the ink on it right there, and you probably see it now that my hand is over it. But I did have a little bit of an ink smush under my stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other piece of paper that I stamped out, which is why I'm glad I made 2. So no problem. The other pieces that turned out really well, I will just die cut. I mean, it's not a big deal. The blue gourd is just a little drippy. I don't know if that's a problem for you. Great. If not, also great. I just did it one more time. There we go. A little not so heavy-handed with the speckled egg color. Okay. I'm going to utilize my Anna Griffin die cutting machine. I waited and waited and waited to get one of these. They're fantastic. So if you've been waiting and it is in your crafty budget, get it. I'm telling you, it's really good and it makes die cutting so much easier. All right, you'll see that card later in the video. So as I let that sit off to the side, I'm going to make another background, and I'm using my Trinity Stamps brushes again, and you can see I'm going to get some blending and shading happening here. So I have quite a lot of distressed colors. I just used my scattered straw, and now I'm pulling in that twisted citron green, and I'm going to make a yellow green leaf for this. It's supposed to be oak leaves, so take that with what you will. I took creative liberty on the colors. And then here's the second round of leaves. I went with a orangey color. This one was, I think, something pumpkin, if I remember correctly. And then I'm going to take this gorgeous lumberjack plaid, which is one of my favorite reds. And it just pops, doesn't it? Oh, it's so bright. I love it. And these brushes really helped get the layers of color. One of the tips that I learned from the owner of Trinity Stamps actually at Paperganza in July was the tip for ink blending is layering. Don't just do one layer, do more and more and more and more. Layering really helps you get a great blend. So a little tip I thought I would share with you from Tanisa. Okay, now this layer was with Vintage Photo, and then I took the Rusty Hinge again, and I'm doing this color on the bottom of the acorns, and that just gives a kind of reddy color, a reddish color, and I'm taking my cloth, wiping off that reddish tone, and the same stencil has the veins for the leaves, so I'm going back in again with the Vintage Photo for this set of leaves and just staying away from the acorns at this point. And the peel and reveal. Da-da-da. What? My acorns looked kind of goofy with the white space, so I just adjusted my stencil and went over it again. I leave mistakes in my videos to make you feel better because nobody's perfect, and I certainly am not. And we're not going to pretend to be perfect. I think I've already shown 2 mistakes in this video and we're 23 minutes in. Da-da-da-da, peel and reveal again. And no, it's not perfect, but it's lovely. And I think it's gorgeous as it is. I'm going to do something crazy pants with that in just a bit. But as that sits off to the side, we're going to get sparkly and glimmer. And I'm going to use the BetterPress plate from this month. I always use the hinge method for glimmering. So that is by taking a little piece of tape and creating a hinge with the paper and the plate and putting the roll of foil in between. The shiny side should be toward the either glimmer plate or BetterPress plate, and the dull gray glue side should be toward the paper. I'm going to trim off the extras because I use those for sentiments. Snip, snip, snip. And we're good to go. I needed to tighten my hinge on my scissors. And after this video, I did. So that's why it was kind of weird to cut. Little tip for glimmering, I put it off to the side, kind of at an angle on my glimmer because it will run through my glimmer. It runs through my platinum at an angle, and it just creates an even pressure. And we'll just peel and reveal. Ooh, that's so gorgeous. And that was with the foil from this month's kit. And it just is so gorgeous. Let's do a few more. I'll just give you the fun details of the peel and reveal. Gorgeous, gorgeous black paper with gold. And that black paper is from Pajama Crafter Stamps called Coal. Perfect for foiling. This is the yellow paper from Spellbinders. It's, I think, Marigold. And then one more with the blue teal color. I think this was, I forgot the name of it. I will link all of those colors of paper down below. But isn't that just so gorgeous? I could not stop glimmering this plate. I made 4. Of course I made 4. And I'm going to do something really cool with this BetterPress plate. So I'm really excited to show you later on in this video. And then, of course, since I had my glimmer machine out, might as well glimmer the Glimmer Club. Hello. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, man, I just love the shine. Nope, it's not perfect. You can see by my right thumb, there's a little oops from the tape, but it's fine. We'll do another one with a brown paper. Isn't that gorgeous? Just get right out with that sparkle. Anyone else love glimmer? I just really love it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and BetterPress since I had the plate out and ready. It's out and popping. Just wait till you see what I do with this one. I adore it. It's so good. Okay, I'm going to go in with BetterPress ink and BetterPress paper. I'm using the porcelain color. Friendly reminder, you can use any ink and any paper to BetterPress. What? Say that again for the people in the back. You can use any ink, any paper with your BetterPress. You get different results, but you can use any ink and any paper. I like the texture of the plate pressing into the thick cotton cardstock, so I like to use the BetterPress paper. You could use a Copic friendly ink and Copic friendly paper and BetterPress it and Copic color it. I would not Copic color with the BetterPress ink though because it's not Copic friendly, but I like to do ombres like this with the saffron, Tuscan, and clay and really get a fun background. And I wish I could pass this paper through the screen to you so you could feel the pressed texture. It's really cool. It's not like an embossing folder, so it's, you have to kind of check your expectations for it, but it's really good. And I think it adds a little extra fun flair to cards. So I love BetterPress. Speaking of which, I'm going to interrupt my own video. Haha. Hey babe, it's me, Justine, interrupting this video. Have you ever BetterPressed? Do you have a BetterPress that is sitting somewhere in your crafty space looking at you? Maybe you bought it. Maybe you're scared to take it out. Maybe you've loved it and used it and made beautiful things already. No matter what your situation, you, crafter, can join the BetterPress babes. Melanie Smith and I, my best crafty buddy, we have started a whole awesome community all about BetterPress. So you can join us monthly on our channels. Depending on the month, it might be on my channel, it might be on Melanie's channel, but we do live events every single month. We have fantastic sponsors. We do fun giveaways, and it's a great time to ask questions live and in person with us through our YouTube videos. So you can join the Facebook group BetterPress Babes on Facebook. I will have that linked in the description of this video. And also you can join Melanie and I on our lives. We absolutely love interacting with you all in the chat. So please join us on our lives. And if you subscribe to our channels, you can be notified for the live events. We just want you to have a great time with your BetterPress, just like us. So join the BetterPress Babes on Facebook, and we will see you on our next Babes Night Out, which is our live event. Maybe you will be one of the winners of our next BetterPress Babes Live fun crafty giveaway. We shall see. See you there. All right, back to our regular scheduled programming. All right, this teal one is so perfect, and I'm going to pair this with the glimmered version of the same press plate later in the video. But once again, since I had my plate out and poppin', let's keep the party rolling along, and we're going to make some fun backgrounds with this plate. Are you ready? I'm going to pull out 2 pieces of background paper that I had already made. They're watercolor backgrounds that I made once upon a time last spring. And I've been waiting and waiting for the right plate, and this is it. This turns out so cool. Are you ready? All I'm using is black ink over this dry piece of watercolor paper that I actually forgot about, but look at that. It's so cool. The texture is out of this world. I am obsessed. We're going to do it with this brown, yellowy, orange, red one. And this just screams fall. I'm going to end up using this one with the Wax Seal Club. It's so cool after. Just wait. And yes, I did already give this card away because I had an aunt who had a birthday and she loves owls. She's a mail carrier and she sees owls a lot in Minnesota here. And I think she's going to love it. Actually, I'm waiting to see if she got it, but by the time this video goes up, she has gotten it. So I'm sure she liked it. At least I hope. All right, moving right along. You asked for the stitching areas to stay in this video for the clubs, so we're going to just do a mini little tutorial on it. I'm going to thread my needle. I use a sharp needle. Usually people use tapestry needles for this, but I like a sharp needle. I'm weird, I know. Okay, I'm going to hide my tail at the back of my project, and I'm going to finish up this pumpkin with you together today. You could tape this tail down. You could hold it and tie it off. I thought that it was secure, and it certainly was not. So we're just gonna restart. There we go. So I'm just holding the tail and I'm going to make little stitching going across here, and that will actually hold the tail. So just a little technique for you. Now, if you are brand new to stitching, hi, hello, let's be friends. I have stitching videos on my channel. I do even have a Stitching 101 playlist. So if you're brand new, you can check that out. And I go in depth over all of the stitches and why I go up through the outside and down the center hole. It is on purpose and intentional. And what tools that you really need and what you don't need. Since that video has gone up in that playlist, I did say that I used Thread Magic. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch the video. I don't use it very much anymore. Simply because I usually am impulsive when I'm making my cards and I just want to make it and I don't feel like using it. But it is helpful. I just don't use it very much anymore. So I just want to be transparent about that. All right, I'm going to go to my next section. I just loved these pumpkins so much. If you're a praying or a thoughtful person or like whatever, if you have a second and you have spare time to send a happy thought out or a prayer out there, my husband's having some back issues, and I took these pumpkins to waiting rooms as I was with my husband and looked a little bit kooky stitching, but these pumpkins got me through a rough couple weeks here. So, he's kind of getting better. I don't know. So just throwing that out there. Anywho, we'll move on. I stitched a bunch of pumpkins. So if you're wondering, why did you make so many pumpkins this month? It's because I was in waiting rooms and yeah. Okay. So I'm going to finish off these pumpkins with hiding the end of the tail here like so, and then a little snip and we're good to go. Easy as can be. Okay, now the pumpkins have 3 different sizes. So they have small, medium, large. And on a few of my projects, I did just like a large and a small, or a medium and a small, and did 2. And that's typically not what I do for my projects. I usually like to have odd numbers, but it just seemed to look nice for this month. Now I pulled in Perfect Touch rectangle and tag. Look at the detail around that. This is one of my favorite die sets of all time. I pull for it all of the time. I mean, it sits in reach. I barely even have to move my arm to reach for it when I want to use it for my projects. It's in my go-to die box. And Maybe I'll do a tour of that box one day, but I really, really love this one. So I'm going to finish off these pumpkins by adding the little details. There's the little centerpiece and then the piece that goes on top that has the swirlies for the vine. It's just so cute. I know, cute counter activated. But I did want to layer these pumpkins on top of a solid piece. So you saw me glue that with some liquid glue. I just think it gives a finished look to the pumpkins. There's a close-up look. How perfect are they? I just love them. Now you could do pumpkins with different colors. They have pink, black, green, white, whatever color pumpkin you want. You certainly could use different color paper and get a different look. And here we go with some more fun things from my stash, because this is the year of using things from my stash, because we can't just take things into our craft room. We have to actually use them, or I like to actually use them. So these are fashion spruce embellishments. They are self-adhesive. They're from Spellbinders Once Upon a Time. And I thought that they looked pretty cute with this project. So good. Okay, there's a finished look at it with daylight. All right, let's talk about this squirrel. He's so fun with his little hands. I just can't even. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a squirrel person because, first of all, I like squirrels. Second of all, I like turtles. Second of all, I just feel like I relate to squirrels quite often with gathering my craft supplies and hoarding them for winter/summer when it's really hot and I don't want to go outside. And they're just so adorable. And specifically the gray squirrels. So my squirrel projects, this video, will feature the gray squirrel. So here is how I thought I was making the eye, and I thought that looked weird. So don't do it this way. You could just add an eyeball like I did there. But why is his nose white and pink? It just looked a little bit scary. We don't need scary squirrels around here. So I'm going to just rip the back off there. Goodbye. And we're going to try it again. And I'm going to die cut, instead of that white piece, I should have die cut that die with black paper. But I did not. And I will not be doing that for this video. I'm actually just going to use some black scrap paper with some white scrap paper because I don't feel like die cutting. We're all friends here, aren't we? Okay, so I'm just going to add that to the back and a little bit of a black area for the ear. Even though inside the squirrel's ear it's not black, but it's fine. It's not a realistic squirrel. It's a cartoon cutie pie squirrel. Okay, like I was saying, this squirrel is facing the right. And that is really important when you talk about compositions of cards. Typically, cards open like a book from right to left, and it opens up that direction. So anytime I have a little character, I like to have the character face the opening of the card. It just looks right. I don't know why, but it just does. So I'm thrilled that the squirrel is facing to the right because it just makes sense on a design level. Now he needs a cute house, doesn't he? He's preparing for winter. It's autumn. It's lovely. And look at the sentiment. May your fall be full of quiet wonder. Isn't that sweet? I'm just going to add a little top of the acorn house on there. Just adorable. How cute would this little acorn be with the clock from the Cuckoo Clock collection that Spellbinders put out last month? Do you remember? I think that would be so cute. I would die to see that. Not literally. I'm speaking. Anyway, it's really adorable, and I love the little door and the tiny little windows. They're just over the top adorable. I'm going to make a second one of these little acorn houses because more is more, and it was adorable, and I had to make two. So on the second acorn house, I made the windows extra cool by adding glossy accents to the windows, so the windows were shiny. So cool. My husband was like, "What? Why are the windows shiny? That's so neat." Yeah, it is. It's really cool. Glossy accents is such a cool product. I adore it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is a clear, it's like a clear glue, but it makes things shiny. So windows, glasses, parts of machines, cars, etc., water. It's just so cute. It looks like it's wet or shiny. It's just awesome. So we'll just finish off this little acorn house by adding little tufts of grass and giving Mr. Squirrel an acorn to hold because, of course, he's gathering for winter. He's busy and busy and adorable. One's hiding in his little tufts of grass there. And we're going to make this house extra pretty by adding sunflowers. Oh, I just love this background of that BetterPress background. You could just add a sentiment onto that and boom, you'd be done. So I've gone ahead and added foam all to the back of the acorn house and then use the foam as a sticky to position all of the greens. And yes, the greens do get lost a bit on the background, but it's fine. Everything in person, it looks better. I'll just put it that way. We'll finish it off with 3 flowers and, of course, foam for my sentiment, because is it even a card I made if I don't add foam to the sentiment? I don't know. Most of my sentiments have foam. I just love a popped sentiment, you know? Plus, it is stamped and heat embossed with white powder, which is, again, something I love to do. It really finishes off the card, and I just adore heat embossing. It's like magic when you melt it. I mean, it's just literally melted plastic, but it looks so cool. If you saw the hidden message in the glue, like this video, if you saw it. We'll just stick that down. And this video, by the way, is at 2.0, so it's sped up twice as fast. So I did give it pretty good firm hold there because that watercolor paper was warped a tiny bit, but it's fine. Look at how cute that is. Oh, now that I'm done with that one, let's just play with the glimmer paper there. This card took right turns, left turns. It made U-turns. I was not sure what I wanted to do with this card. I had that extra flower. I had 2 adorable Twilight Hoot owls, and I had these pumpkins, but this stamped area is going to be the star of the show. So I'm going to take some of my Spellbinders adhesive and glue it onto this kind of warm gold foil paper. And I'm just going to trim, eyeball the edge, just so it has a little bit of an edge to it. And that already is just so cool. But I have been trying to stretch my crafty brain and do different things with these items in fun ways, because I want this video that comes to you once a month with these Spellbinders clubs to be special. And I want it to be the video that you go to when you want to know about the clubs for the month. And I want it to be the video you come back to and we hang out and you're making your own cards, you know? So I really thought about this card and thought about how can we make this extra special and extra cool. And I got a little bit annoyed at myself. So I actually cut my stamped image area in half because I wanted it to hang off the edge and it was just not working for my size of my card. And then the magic happened. Ready? That. Do you see that area? How it's kind of just coming into this, the side from the left? I thought that looked really good. So I am going to chop it here. The way I said that was so weird. I did not chop it because I was mad at the paper. I feel like that's how it came across. No. And I thought about using this twine from DMC and like a little nest under the owl. No, the owl does not have his moment on this card, and that's fine. Here we go. Whoop, chopped it right off. And I thought, what if I added that and then the layer that I chopped off, what if that goes underneath? Wouldn't that be neat? Yes, it will. It's going to look so cool. So I just thought I'd leave in some of this like process of my thought and moving things around, because who knows, maybe some layout there would spark someone's interest. Who really knows? But speaking of sparking interest in layouts, I do have a Pinterest account, as I'm sure many crafters have Pinterest accounts. And I have been trying to make a Pinterest board section for card sketches. So I, instead of scrolling in a unpurposeful way, I have been scrolling on Pinterest and adding to my board on Pinterest that is card sketches. So if you want to check that out, you can certainly do that. None of them I've made. I'm just collecting them from the internet. So just throwing that out there. If you ever get stuck and you're not sure what to do, grabbing a sketch is really fun. I didn't use any sketches for this video, but this card looks kind of like a sketch. Looks a little sketchy. So I just thought I'd throw that out. And if you're wondering, what is that gorgeous gold sparkly stuff you're using? It's from Vivant and it's from Spellbinders. It's just so gorgeous. I love it. And I forgot that I even had it. I had this big spool of it. How did I forget I had it? I don't know. I just did, crafty friend. So yeah, it's went on here. Ooh, another secret message in the glue. Did you see it? Okay, we're going to add it right to that black paper to give it a nice black border. And it did have a little bit of glue squish out. Love that for me. So I'm using my tweezers to kind of scrape it away so it will not show on the finished result. Oh, just kidding. I am going to use the pumpkins for this card. I thought I didn't. I don't think I used the owls. That's what I did. Because that owl I'm going to use on my BetterPress background card, and it's going to be awesome. I do remember that because that's my aunt's card. All right. And this, another really adorable sentiment, a little fall charm just for you. I thought that was neat, but I just needed to move the pumpkins around so I could determine how I wanted my sentiment to be. And I didn't want the vines to be swirling into each other. We grow pumpkins and they're not perfect. So I don't think that these ones should be either. Let me know in the comments if you've ever grown a pumpkin. Our pumpkin growing journey started on accident. We got a couple pumpkins from my sweet sister-in-law, and after Halloween happened, time passed, and in Minnesota it gets cold, and we didn't want them just to sit and rot on our step. So my husband put them in our compost pile because they're possible for compost. Yay. And he does tend to that compost pile often. And guess what? The next summer we had volunteer pumpkins, and they've come back every year. And that's how we get our porch pumpkins every year. And they're just so fun. So they take up a lot of space though. So just know that if you are going to try to grow your own pumpkins. It's a cute little thing, and it's fun to watch them grow. They start off just little itty bitty, and they grow to be whatever size they are. I mean, I really don't do much to them. They just grow, and then we take them off the step and we compost them. I have not tried cooking or baking them. I really should this year. Maybe I'll take one or two and do that. But we usually get about 5 pumpkins each year. Speaking of pumpkins, here's the cute one. The happy little pumpkin card. That's what I call this one. Do you ever name your cards? I definitely do. Okay, so I have flowers here, 3 ghosts. I don't think I end up using the ghosts on this card. I can't remember what my finished card looks like at this point. It's been a wild end of August. Like I said, we've been going to doctor visits. I've been getting ready for back to school time. It's been lovely, but crazy at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to add black paper to the inside of the mouth and the inside of the eyes for my pumpkin, so it looks like there's a little bit of a shadow there. And I'm also adding this little mouth area, so it looks like the pumpkin has a tongue. Then the eye area will go behind there as well. Isn't it so cute? He looks so happy. We love a happy little pumpkin. And then I wanted my pumpkin card to have the cat coming out of it because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I do like cats. I think they're really sweet. I love a dog too. You know, it was National Dog Day not that long ago at the end of August here. So I saw the funniest meme. It said, had this dog, and it said that the dog community was upset because Taylor Swift announced her engagement on National Dog Day. That is hilarious. I love a good meme. Anyway, I should add that to the video. Hold on, I'll find that and add it in. Okay, moving right along. Pumpkin spice is also back. So take that with what you will. I think that dog is just so cute. I had to add it in. Okay, we will just continue on adding an adorable little hat to my little cat pumpkin here. Should we name this cat pumpkin? I think we will. Maybe Shadow. What's another good name for a cat? I don't know. You let me know what you would name this cat. My favorite cat that I ever had was Annaboo or Anastasia. She was my favorite little cat. Actually, she was pretty big. She was a Maine Coon. She is so gorgeous. So I miss her, but she was not a black cat. She was lots of shades of brown and white, but maybe I could make an Anna card with white. I could die cut out the cat in white and then Copic color it. Ideas for later. Okay, now I've taken this Polaroid die. This is from it's from the Winnie the Pooh, or the classic Pooh collection that Spellbinders put out, and it's just so perfect for that Polaroid look. It's a really simple die, but it's one that again lives in that go-to die bin that I was speaking of earlier. So it is easy peasy for adding on to projects. And it was so sad. I thought I actually lost it or gave it to a crafty friend. And I needed that frame for one of my craft roulette videos because one of the parameters was picture or card with a picture. So I found the die and yay, here we are today. If you have zero clue what I'm talking about when I say craft roulette, don't worry, I will tell you. It's a card making game show. Are you kidding me? Yes, it is. It's so fun. It's every Friday night on Craft Roulette on YouTube. And I will link the episode that I was a guest on. It's so fun with 2 N's, fun. And it's a little challenge every week. And even if you don't want to participate in the challenge, it's just fun to watch people make cards in a game show element. So just throwing that out there. Craft Roulette is a fun little time. Now, I thought about perhaps using these ghosts with the stay cozy and spooky sentiment. So those will go away for another day. I won't end up using them in today's video, but just know that it is probably going to those ghosts will probably make an appearance in later cards, not in this video, but perhaps later in the month. For the background of the Polaroid picture, I thought about using blue, maybe using black, maybe using a little cloud stencil to make a little cloudy background for them. But I ended up going with this gray color because it just was a little bit neutral with without like having the, without totally without having the cat get lost in the background. If I used the black, it would get lost. So gray it is. Gray is one of my least favorite colors. So, but I do think that the occasion calls for gray in this situation. I just think we need to bring color back to the world, people. Enough of the gray. Okay. We are going to add that right onto the back, or I added that right onto the back. And one thing that I love about this Polaroid die is the area on the bottom for you to write something. So that's how Polaroids are. When you take the picture, you can write like cutie pie with the pumpkin 2025 or whatever you want to put underneath it, or soccer game of the year and have a picture of someone playing soccer in the picture. But for card making, it's a perfect spot for a sentiment, and that is what I will do here today. But I wanted to be extra. Shocker. And I'm going to add some gold DMC thread to the bottom just to jazz it up a little bit. Love that. How easy peasy lemon squeezy is that? I don't know. To me, why not add sparkle? And of course, we're going to pop it up. Da, 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 da. Shout out to those little scissors. Those are from Spellbinders as well, and they are anti-stick. They are so easy for cutting foam, especially the foam I use is rather sticky. So those scissors slice right through it. And I did pick up the teal version because I cannot resist. I had to get the teal version. They came out with teal. If they come out with the shears in teal, game over for me. I'm probably going to get those too, but I definitely ordered the teal. Okay, I'm going to use my little tape runner there to hold down the cat as the glue sets. I was being impatient and the glue was a little bit light, so I ended up using my reverse tweezers, so it's currently squishing that cat. Poor little cat right in the face. And as that is setting, I'm going to pick my background matting layer color. Let me know in the comments what size of cards you like to use. I really do prefer A2, but 5x7 has been something that I've been reaching for so much recently. Oh, that terracotta is the perfect orange. Oh, it's just so cute. Get right out. So I'm just going to trim that down. And for 5.5 by 4.25 there. For A2, the card pieces are just so easy because it is 1/4 of a piece of paper. And I will just trim this down to 4 inches by 5.25. Yes, so 4 by 5.25. Just taking off a little bit around the edge. So good. And if I was thinking with my noodle, I would gut the inside of the background out. And when I say that, I mean take a die and use the orange paper there and die cut out the center to use on other projects. I could not help but pull for these monster eyes from Spellbinders and put them on the cat. That makes this card that much more fun. And I could not resist. So those were from when Spellbinders released the Monster Collection. And I think they make the cat look so silly. So there we have it. I did have a little bit of glue smudge out on the cat. So it's looking like the cat maybe has some pumpkin goo on it. Gross. So we're going to make the cat sparkly to cover that up because a glittery cat is probably what I would have if my sweet little Anna was still alive. She'd be in my craft room with me and covered in glitter. She lived a lovely life, by the way. She was just a very old cat and she had her time. Okay, here's my glossy accents like I was speaking of earlier. I'm going to make little dots on the centers of my flowers just to add texture because the centers of these sunflowers are pretty large and in charge. And I think they needed a little bit of texture to make them extra fun. So my biggest challenge with glossy accents is to leave the card alone and not touch it as it dries. But I do think those little pops added an extra special flavor. All right, here's the owl card. This one ends up going to be my aunt's birthday card. I have die cut out the card panel with the emerald cut set from Spellbinders. And I pulled out some fun things from my stash because I gotta do that. It's so fun. You have a crafty stash too, and you should pull things out from your stash. It's like finding something cool at a garage sale. I feel like you're saving money. Even though you already bought it and it's in your stash, it feels like you're getting more of your bang for your buck. So I'm using this one, which is perfect for wax sealing. It's called Sealed Twine. It's not actually twine. It die cuts the paper to look like twine. And that will go all around these gorgeous florals. And all of the little florals and such that are underneath that finger right there, those are all from a set. If that set is still available, I will link it down below. I'm pretty sure it is maybe 2 years old, if not more. So like I said, I'm using things from my stash, but I think it looks perfect for the vibe of this card. Now, I did kind of rough up the back of that wax seal because the wax seal is actually more of like a plastic seal. And with, I'm going to switch that wax seal. Ready? Whoop, there it goes off. Goodbye. With the back, it is pretty smooth, and adding liquid glue to a smooth back, I just like to rough up the edge a little bit with my pick and poke tool from Trinity Stamps. I just really like that owl, and I think the black and gold popped like crazy, and I love how it looks with the background there. I'll just set a whole bunch of stuff on top of my project and let that sit as I finish making the background piece for this card. So I have taken dies and die cut out the center. So that's kind of what I meant by gut the cardstock before. I don't love that term. It's a bit much. So we're going to just call it saving the cardstock. We're going to save the center. And I popped it up on the orange layer there, the terracotta layer. Look at me remembering names of colors and everything like a professional. Okay, then I'm going to add some tape because tape works, and why not use tape? It's quicker and it does not move typically. And then I'm just going to trim off the extra because I don't want to deal with extra bulk on this card, even though this one will be hand delivered to my sweet aunt. Let me know in the comments. Do you say aunt or aunt? I think it's a regional thing, but I say aunt. Here in Minnesota, we say aunt, but I've heard people say aunt before, and I think that linguistics and such are very interesting. So let me know, aunt or aunt. I have not given you a secret code word for this video, and I am so tempted to go down the Twilight route with this owl that's called Twilight Hoot. And I think the code word, should we do it? The code word's gonna be Bella. I am so sorry. It has to be. The code word's Bella. Bella. And I will know that you watched this video in its entirety. I'm so sorry. It's Bella. It has to be. You know, you get that thing in your head, that idea, and you just have to go with it. That's what's happening right now. As you write the code word Bella down below, be on the lookout Be on the lookout for your favorite card as we go along here. I am going to show you more in this video, but if you have a favorite, I love to know your favorites. So be sure to let me know your favorite down below. when you write the code word. Anyway, I just added a little bit of glue behind the edges of the little bouquet there just so they don't pop up. And yep, my owl was a little bit crooked and I just adjusted it. Hooray, it was no big deal. All right, I'm going to grab some more things from my stash. These self-adhesive embellishments. They are the black, so Fashion Jet color, and I'll just pop them right onto my project. If I were to keep this card and possibly not use it for a while, I probably would have added some glue behind those because the adhesive does dry up and get old. I've had those embellishments for like 3 years now, so just know that you can do that with your embellishments. Okay, I did not show you the making of this card because it's just a whole bunch of die cutting, but I have die cut out the piece that was glimmered and better pressed and then layered on with the dies, each little layer there. So this is in slow motion, kind of weird, but you can really see the difference with the shininess and the pressed areas in slow motion. So I hope that helped. Here's a little cute finished look. There it is. Okay, that was really quick, but you can always go back and look at it again. And if you have questions, just let me know. All right, I wanted to use all of these adorable stamped and stenciled images because they are just so darling. So we're going to put them on this project and put them on each little hexagon and surround this big, beautiful pumpkin with happy little fall things. And yes, I am going to pop them up with foam because it looks so cute. It adds lots of texture, and the pumpkin is rather 3D itself, so it just kind of coordinates with what we've got going on. And there's the finished result, the last one. No sentiment needed on this little lady. Oh no, no, it's going to have some lovely writings on the inside one day, and it's good to go. There's a finished look at it. Da, 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 da. Okay, I've done that way too much this video. Okay, I'm going to use this embossing folder for that project and this one, the 3D embossing folder for this project. And we're going to cut to the end. Look at that. Oh, they are done. And now I'm going to do a little fun stuff to these backgrounds because I like to add fun textures and do crazy things to my backgrounds. So I am taking Lisa Horton ink. This is called a Copper Pot. And I'm just gently gliding the ink pad over my embellished area like so. And it just touches the raised areas. It gives kind of a grungy look. It's pretty cool. Love that. And then I'm going to splatter. I splatter with white paint, acrylic paint from Hero Arts, and black splatter from Spellbinders, and a glittery silvery one from Spellbinders. I'll link them all down below. Raven, there we go. That's the black. And I am going to splatter on that light blue paper as well. So I'll just show you what they look like in a few seconds. And then you will see. I don't splatter on camera often because look at my hand. I get messy. Imagine what my little die cut pieces would look like. And there's the teal splattered with white. Here's a close-up look at those adorable windows as I'm finishing my second house. I figured I would show you what they look like up close and personal. They really do look like windows. So fun. Now, because I showed you assembly of the cards already, I'm not going to show you the assembly of these two cards, but here is a finished look at this one. Gorgeous. This is one of my favorites. Oh, I just love it so much. It's perfect. Okay. And then the second squirrel one. I say it's perfect humbly. Please know that. Okay. So good. Here is a look at all of the cards. Are you ready? Wowzers, this was quite a month of clubs. My goodness. Let's go through and look at all of the finished cards that I've made so far. Just like last month, I'm not done with these things. Like I have shown throughout this whole video, I'm pulling things from my stash, so I will be using these more in the future. But here is what I have made so far. I am just obsessed with this little squirrel. I think he is too cute. And you can see how fun the windows look with that glossy accents on there. Just super cool. And I think these cards are just very me. I am a fall baby. I was born in November, so I love fall, and I think it's so fun. So here is the next one. Remember to be looking for a favorite, and if you see a favorite, be sure to let me know which one is your favorite, or if you have maybe one or two, let me know. I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. So you have time to write it in the comments. And if you have any questions as well, I'd love to help answer any questions if I didn't cover anything, or if you're wondering where a certain product came from. Now, a lot of these cards are not on card bases yet. I plan to be doing that after this video, but just keep that in mind. They are all A2 this month, kind of different than my usual. Sometimes I whip out a 5x7 or a slimline, but this month it was all A2, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And can you tell I like the stitched pumpkins yet? Oops, this one's upside down. There we go. Loved the dimension on this one. I didn't show the making of it, so I just want to mention I have the BetterPress ombre background, and then the stitched pumpkin, and then the stenciled stamped items that I die cut out and just placed around. There's no need for a sentiment on this one. It just is too cute as it is. Now this one was my one that I made that, oh, just kidding, I have two of them that are not really fall themed. This I have glimmered and better pressed, die cut out, and kind of pieced together. I love how this one turned out. Really cute. Now this one, I had this piece on here finished already. It was on a card. It was just on a blank white card base, and it just looked a little bit unfinished. So what I did was I took a scissors and just cut this off from that card base and put it on this BetterPress background, and I think it is just, it finishes off the background so nicely, and there's so much bling on here. I went a little crazy when I added all the bling, but this was not from the clubs, as you remember or might remember. If not, that's fine. I don't know what I'm saying here, but this was from a collection that came out in the summertime. So like I said before, I'll have everything linked below, so if you want to grab that stitched beehive, it's a good one. And this is my crazy cat. I love the eyes. I think it really adds so much character. And it just is such a happy, silly card. And I love that the pumpkin is so happy and the cat is so silly. Plus the glossy accents on the flowers just add a little fun finishing touch. And of course the sparkle on the cat. Here's my second gray squirrel card. Shout out to the squirrels out there. So you can see the difference. This is the same die set, and look how different these cards are. They turned out so different from each other, but they're both really great, in my opinion. I do like the sparkly flowers better than just a regular die cut piece. Anytime where I can add glitter, I'm all about it. All right, here's my favorite. Hello, gorgeous. Ha ha ha. Not only do I just love the blue and the orange and the yellow together, I love the added bling and the shadow sentiment and all the stitching. Just so pretty. This has to be my favorite, with a close second of my gray squirrel card. Shockingly enough, third place, you might be surprised, is this one. Because I had a lot of fun with this one. When I was making it, I was on the phone with a family member and we caught up, and I just was so inspired, and I just love everything about this one. So first place, second place, third place, but maybe your favorites are different than mine. So let me know down in the comments. And if you liked or learned anything from this video, please remember to go ahead and hit the like button before you head out. And I would love to know your favorite. So if you have a minute or two, let me know your favorite down below. Just look at all the fall colors here. Like I said, I live in Minnesota and these fall colors are everywhere. So let's get to a fun September. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye-bye.